Hi there, I'm Construction Gamer. In this second part of my two-part special, we're going to be building Heathrow Airport and a little bit of the underground as well, so the Piccadilly Line and what will be eventually the Crossrail line, well, the main line into Heathrow. We're going to build that as well. In the last episode we built that junction. If you're watching these episodes back to back, then you will have seen me build that just a few minutes ago, but if you're watching these videos separately, then we built this junction in the last episode. In between episodes I've just done a little bit of tree planting and things like that, and I've just fixed a few things to make it look a little bit better. It's just little details that I like to do nowadays, is the likes of where this girder bridge here was joined to this lovely looking viaduct, just concrete viaduct. It wasn't believable that the bridge would be supported on these slender pylons, or pylons, yeah, that's probably the right word to use for them. So I put in a little bit of retaining wall. It did take a little bit of moving around a track and things like that, but I think it just looks a little bit more realistic. I'm not sure how it looks in real life, but in terms of the structure of the thing, that's just looks a little bit better. I'm not sure why the Class 43 has a steam engine sounding horn, but I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with this. It's not quite as compact as it is in real life, but I think in terms of transport fever junctions, it's pretty compact, and the speeds aren't, you know, too slow either. I think there's some 35s on there, but trains will be kind of slowing down anyway. So enough about that, we want to get on and build an airport. So I've already built a little bit of a pad because I was just worried about getting down from the Piccadilly Line into the tunnel, so I built that. That's the M4, not the M40 like I said, but yeah, that's sort of there. So what I was thinking I'm going to do is we can build an airport with two runways. That's relatively straightforward. So big airfield, terminals, you can add a runway to it. God, these are actually much bigger than I anticipated. So we need a bigger pad straight away, and maybe the M4, determined to call it the M40, needs to be moved. So let's just get rid of, oh, that's my road, I need you. Right, let's get rid of this road here. Vehicle in the way, of course there is. Yeah, I'm anticipating this episode will probably be a little bit shorter than the previous one, but as it's a two-part special, I don't think it's too, you know, it's alright having one slightly shorter episode, but you never know, because we're going to be building underground, and as you know, building underground isn't the easiest on Transport Fever 2, so we will watch this space. Right, get you connected back up. You're just delivering grain from these farms to the docks, and then the bread's getting shipped all the way to Tilbury. So it's a bit of a mission, but it's my little supply chain that I've got going on. I just wanted some barges working on the Thames, so I thought that would probably be a good way of doing it. We've still got to revisit Tilbury at some stage because I haven't put in the cranes and things like that, the gantry cranes. So I mean, this pad now is huge. It's more than big enough for the airport, but obviously I need to do some smoothing and stuff like that, so we need to make sure this pad is nice and big, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build two airports, not just one, because of as good as the airport building system is on this, it is a little bit constrained. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is hangar landing direction doesn't really matter, does it? Changes with the wind. Yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to build one here. Now this could work quite nicely actually, I think. So this, yeah, before I go on, obviously both Heathrow Express, not Heathrow Express, both Crossrail as it is today and Piccadilly Line serve multiple terminals. You've got T3, 2 and 3, T4 and T5. Piccadilly Line definitely serves all four terminals. I don't think there's a T1 anymore, is there? But it's just too complicated. I don't think we're going to get it in the space that we need, so I'm just going to build one station which is going to serve T5. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain that Heathrow Express and Crossrail services go to T5, so that's what we're going to do. So let's just chuck an airport in, shall we? Right, and then what I'm going to do is spin this around, because Heathrow is actually quite weird in that a lot of the terminals are kind of sandwiched between the two runways, which is a little bit unusual. Landing direction, let's have both the landing directions the same. Doesn't really matter, but we'll have it the same anyway, and then we'll just end up with another building like that. Are they perfectly lined up? If we're going to do it, we want them lined up, don't we? So something a bit like that. And my road's probably going to have to move again, isn't it? Actually no, let's move the airport rather than the road, because we are getting a little bit too far westwards now. So we're going to have one airport here, and then we're going to have another one here. So we are quite far west past Slough now, even taking into account whole orientation of the map. We're still quite close to much further west than we should be, but that's, yeah, it's the way it is. Little bit of a compromise here and there just to deal with the issue of the scale, but as long as we get a little bit of an impression of what's there in real life, then I'm not kind of massively worried. Good, so we've got an airport. Next thing, we need a little bit of road connecting these two termini up. Not hugely important at this stage, but as I'm not having a T2+3 railway station, what I'm going to have instead is a bus. And why do I feel like there's a thingy-mabob, one of them? Yeah, there's the Heathrow pod thing, but that just goes from a car park by the looks of it. I thought it might go to a terminal, but that's all right. We'll just chuck a road in there, and I think a little bit more road. Just have that coming off. I think we'll have a bus turnaround here. That's worked out all right actually. And then I'm not sure. Is there a western road? Have I got Heathrow up? I haven't. No, there's no western access road, so we'll just have a little bit of a. Get rid of that. Use the roundabout tool. That one, just a single lane radius, that's fine, don't need to worry too much about that. Just chuck that in, trying to line that up by eye, and upgrade this to that or downgrade it, and then connect that up to there. Just somewhere for the buses to kind of come around and turn around and then go back. It's probably walkable actually from there to there, but let's configure this. I've put the wrong terminal, haven't I? So that's lucky. And no, configure. Make sure we're configuring the right airport. I don't want to spend too long on the airport, if I'm honest. I just want to get this done. Can't get another, yeah, because of that road. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the cargo terminal. We're going to have cargo planes arriving anyway. But yeah, that's it. That's all I want to do. So Heathrow. So that one's Heathrow Airport T5, and then this is going to be Heathrow Airport T2, 3, and 4. Just gives them a little bit of separation. I think that works. That works for me. Probably won't have planes coming into both of these, but yeah, at least we've got a little bit of an airport. Next thing is the fun thing of buildings, and right. So the next thing I'm not entirely sure about is the station 45. Don't want it to be that thing long, or do we? 140. We don't have. Let's just. Have I got a depot somewhere? Yeah, I've got a depot because I built loads of them. Right. Build vehicles, passenger wagons. This is just going to be for a rough guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 123 meters long. I'm just trying to think how long a 9-car class 245 Avantra would be. The Crossrail trains eventually, but no, we're not going to have full length Avantras. That's just too long. I think we'll just have to go for shorter ones, 100 and odd meter. 140 meters, let's maybe just make it a little bit longer, something a bit like that. And then can I add more platforms? So this, oh, that's another thing. Yeah, okie dokie. So this one is going to be, right, I'm just going to have a quick look at the map actually. Yeah, that's answered my question, because basically I wasn't sure if it was just one big station, but obviously one's going to be electrified with catenary and one's going to be wireless. So this one here is going to be my Piccadilly Line station. So actually let's just fiddle with these. So platform wall pattern, something like that. Floor pattern black. Don't need to worry about the radius. Height, maybe make the height a little bit taller. Slope, no. Number of tracks. Oh, we can increase the number of tracks, but obviously we can't have two separate electrification, because I'm pretty certain there is catenary into that station. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I want to get it right, obviously, because maybe let's just see on Google if there are any pictures. Yeah, from the pictures I can find, it looks as if there's catenary on the Elizabeth Line / Heathrow Express. So yeah, good. Right, so Piccadilly Station. You don't need to be 160, you can be 140. Chuck you in there. Right, let's just rename this to... Yeah, I'll just call it Heathrow T5 Pick. So that's the Piccadilly Line station. Good. Right, can I... Slough. Right, if I just click on that again. No, it's still calling that Slough lower. Yeah, right. And then another station. This one wants to be... This one can be 100. I think this one is slightly longer anyway. So you're 160 meters long and you want to be T5 Elizabeth Line. Right, and then we're going to need road construction, building, or is it street construction? Street construction, concrete, black, that one, width 6, sign over entry, no, I'm not worried about that. Let's just connect that up. And then can I connect all of those? So that is Oh, that's worked out nicely. No, it hasn't. Configure. Oh no. Can I configure track? Get rid of you, and then you want to be track that one with high-speed tracks. It doesn't say if it's got catenary on it or not, and you can't see, can't zoom in. I think that might be with catenary, and that one is with no masts, possibly. Yeah, it's just a shame you can't really see if it has or not until there's actually physically a train. I can't. Oh, can I zoom through? I can zoom through the ground. Well, that's handy. Yeah, there's no catenary. That's annoying. Right, let's try that again. Is that just going to delete the whole thing? It is. That's annoying as well. Let's try this one more time with the correct track this time. So this one is concrete wireless, all of that the same, but you only want to be 140 metres long. Yeah, the Piccadilly trains are just over 100 metres long, so the track is going to have to be 140. So plonk you in there, and if I just plonked another station on top of it as well, I have. Right, so you've kept your name. Right, next thing is build the correct track this time. So we want wire high-speed tracks like so, and then we'll just run that alongside. You want to be 160, something a bit like that. Good. Right, next, put the entrance back in, swing this around till it's facing the correct direction. A little bit of a connection there, that's all good, and then connect those up together. Have you retained, you're all just Heathrow Terminal 5. That works for me. We've got a passageway connecting both of those up together, so that's all good. Right, the only other little bit is Piccadilly appears to have a Piccadilly line trains, or the Piccadilly line appears to have a reverser at the back, so the trains come out of the station and then reverse and then come back into the station on the other track. Now, the only way to do that is to actually have a station, which just wouldn't look very realistic, would it? And you can't use, obviously you can't use the fake stations underground, as far as I know, just literally a surface station, so that wouldn't work either. So I think there might have to be a little bit of a compromise. So let's do the first thing, which is try and get these tracks connected up when you're not underground. Okie dokie, let's try this for a third time. Okie dokie, so we've got tunnels this time, which is handy. That's, yeah, there's no, I guess the only other way I could do it really. So trains coming in this way, and then let's put, I guess I could put a loop in. It's not really, yeah, there's no other way other than putting a station in, which I don't think would work. I need to put a loop in, which we're going to have to use. Does CW's tram tracks come with a tunnel? They do. Yeah, it's a very slow loop, 13 miles per hour, and then what we can do is upgrade this to that track. Yeah, I think it's the only way I can think of working it. Catenary, yes. Good. Right, so then I think, as far as I can tell, these tunnels are in two separate tunnels, so, and they're underneath, no, they're on the top of, so these want to be as close to the surface as possible. Yeah, so you're there. I think, well, there's a whole loop and stuff going on with these anyway, but I think they're two separate tunnels. Yeah, the only problem I've just realised with using the wireless tracks is we have to have the ugly tunnel, which is a bit of a shame for the Piccadilly line, because I think the Piccadilly is relatively modern, so it would be, and where is the Piccadilly line? We're miles away. Tell people we're going in the right direction, wouldn't it? Let's just try and delete some of this track that I've built. Right, so get rid of you, and you. I mean, it does kind of dip, and there's a whole loop and stuff going around to the other terminals, but obviously we're not worrying about that, so let's chuck that into there. Two separate tunnels like so, and then I think you're in a tunnel straight away. That's good. I think what I'll do though is I'll use the modern tunnel portals. We're going to end up with the whole horrible brick line tunnels, unfortunately, but at least we can have a modern tunnel portal. And I guess Heathrow didn't really need to be on a pad after all, did it? Because we could have just used these tunnel portals, but not to worry. Right, and then just get you into there. 35, yeah, I think we'll take that and then just get you hooked straight into there as well, like so. Yeah, as it goes into the tunnel, it does go into a tunnel, then a little bit of a surface, and then back into a tunnel again, but just because of the space constraints, it's just straight into a tunnel, straight into T5, like so. Right, the next thing is we want a little bit of track, so something like that on the flat. Now, don't connect to that tunnel there, just stay flat, and then we want a junction into there, so there's no, doesn't look like there's a diamond crossing or anything here. It just looks like it's two separate, it's a tunnel, but this needs to start to go down. Where's my junction? That's fine. Can we get, can't, why do they look so high? Not high, low, that's the one. So, oh yeah, right, okie dokie, that's why. Yeah, I want these to be as high as possible, because the whatchamacallit, the Heathrow/Elizabeth line tracks go underneath Pic tracks. I do love building underground, it's so much fun, as you can tell. Right, get you in there, let's press M, just holding shift and M, just want to get this as high as we can get it before it starts colliding. Actually, we could potentially say build anyway, but I don't want to run the risk of the tunnel looking rubbish. There might get some weirdness going on with the tunnel, so I will build that like that, I think, and then just get this connected up to that one. We'll do the same again. So yeah, I could potentially use build with collision, but I just don't know what that would do to the tunnel if it would collide with the actual airport itself, so it's probably best not to do that. Right, next is this one wants to go underneath. Where's that? That's there. Can I get underneath? I can. And we can use that one there and catenary. Yes. Is that interacting? Is that done a junction or is that going underneath? Let's build it and let's use this camera here. I never realised you could glitch yourself into the underground with this camera utility, so that's handy to know actually for in future. It doesn't really make building tunnels any easier, but it just means you can actually see what you've constructed, which is, you know, useful. Right, so we'll have a join tunnel there. Actually, you need to move that back a little bit. Yeah, this whole junction arrangement seems a little bit capacity constraining, doesn't it? But that's how it is, so we will try and recreate it and then get that under that track there. I think the tunnel's split off again, and then we want to be heading towards this junction here. Don't need to worry about the tunnel portal. And then this track, actually, no, it doesn't matter actually, we'll just leave that as is, get you connected up to that. So yeah, you can see there we wouldn't be able to get the loop in really, it'd be a bit of a challenge. I mean, we potentially could. No, I think we'll leave it as is with just T5 one there, which just kind of, I could just call that Heathrow, couldn't I? Don't need to worry about what terminal it is, but yeah, we've actually managed to achieve quite a lot. Pretty pleased with how that's all looking. Let's just get rid of this painting that I've done. I'll have to do a little bit of work off camera just to make this look a little bit nicer, do some smoothing and stuff like that. But we can get some Heathrow Express services. And my only next question is, how was Heathrow served before electrification? Was there a short stretch of electrification from Paddington to Heathrow before kind of the main Great Western Main Line electrification was done? Because I don't think the trains, obviously they're not going to be diesel, are they, going into the tunnel? That just wouldn't be allowed. So I'll have to do a little bit of research, see what sort of electrification. It might have been the case that there was some electrification actually. If you know, let me know in the comments. I probably would have found out beforehand anyway. I'll do a little bit of research. I never really give it any thought, but yeah, that's all looking all right. I'll connect Heathrow up to the M4 and stuff like that. Do a little bit of paint work and plant some trees, and then potentially, well, do we want to do a cab ride in a tunnel? Potentially not, but at least we've got Heathrow built now. We've got all the major junctions and stuff going into Heathrow, so that's a nice kind of western portion of London done. I've got a little bit of work to do on the Great Western Main Line. It is something I want to revisit. We've got to finish off some junctions. I want to build at least one more station on the Great Western if I can fit it in. I will have a think about Slough. I could potentially just move the whole town a little bit to the west. That wouldn't be the end of the world if I'm honest. Or I could just leave it as is. Let me know what you think in the comments if I should just leave it, and I'm probably just rambling a little bit now, but yeah, just let me know in the comments. Should I leave Slough or rebuild it? Would it make a huge difference to your enjoyment of the map and the series if I just left it or not? So there we are. We've got Heathrow, we've got the Piccadilly Line, and we've got the Elizabeth Line, or what will be the Elizabeth Line into Heathrow, and that's it. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Say until next time, bye bye.